Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my Teach Piece Part 2, where we're going to continue to interpret and evaluate numerical expressions. I was really hoping to just do it all in one take, but it didn't quite work. I couldn't quite fit in one last little part. So there's not going to be a we do video for this. So if you do have any questions, you're going to need to reach out to me through a class comment or a private comment, and I'll help you along. But good thing to know is that in the Teach Piece Part 1, those beginning evaluate problems were much harder than what is expected of you. So when you do your exit ticket today and you're doing some evaluations, you're looking at it like, wow, I think I can handle this. It's really not as difficult as I thought. Again, I prepped you with problems that were a little bit more difficult. Again, reach out to me if you have questions about it. But I wanted to focus on one other aspect. So let's begin. Again, we're interpreting and evaluating. We're going to focus more on the interpreting section today, or at least for this part of the video. And we left off on page 147. Let's scroll down. Yep, page 147. And on page 147, I wanted to focus on number 5. It's the only one that we haven't looked at. We evaluated, we looked and wrote some expressions in number form, but we actually haven't taken it in number form and turned it into words. And I want to focus on that. And to help us down below here, I have some of our hint words. You had it in your Module 3 workbook. I think we might have pasted it into one of the blank pages on your Module 4. I'm not quite sure. So either way, I have it here for you. So you can certainly pause the video and take a look. The ones that we're going to focus on for addition is sum. For subtraction is difference. For multiplication, we're going to look at either times or product. And for division, where is it? It's quotient. From time to time, you might see some of the other ones in here. Right? But one that I don't like to use is minus. So please do not use minus. You'll also see over here that there's not a plus. Right? We don't use the word plus. We're going to use sum. Oh, I do see it there. Get rid of that one. I don't like it. Middle school doesn't like it. High school doesn't like it. Don't get in the habit of it. And we mentioned that in previous lessons as well. So use sum, use difference for adding and subtracting. All right, so knowing that, let's come up here. And we have 3/4. We have a time sign. We have some parentheses that have 1 and 75/100ths and 3/5. So what are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on the multiplying and the adding. If we come down to our multiplying, what are we going to find to use? Either times or product. Right? So I might use times in this case. And then our adding one, right? Our big one that we're going to focus on is sum. So those are our key words that we're going to use. Let's go ahead and use those to write it. So I'm going to have 3/4. And now technically we're doing it in words, so I could write it out 3/4. Right? But I know that from time to time we've gone ahead and just made 3/4 there as a fraction. But 3/4, and we're going to times. And I'm going up on the top just so I have more room. I tend to write a little bit bigger. So 3/4 times. And what do we have to do here? We can't say plus or just add. All right, we're going to need the 3/4 times the sum. Remember, sum is the answer to an addition problem. So the sum of, now don't get confused about sum immediately talking about multiplying. This is the sum of, they're linked together. The sum of, and we could simply write 1 and 75/100ths, or off to the side do 1 and 75 hundredths. Our main goal is to focus on these keywords more so than writing it over like this here. So again, 3/4 times the sum of 1 and 75 hundredths and 3/5. There we go. These two are equivalent now. They're the same. If we look down to the next one, let's grab a different color here. I see subtraction and multiplying. I come down here, subtraction. We're going to focus on the word difference. So we're going to say the difference of, and of is linked with difference. So the difference of 7/9 and, well, we don't know what this other number is, do we? So how are we going to find this? Are we going to say the difference of 7/9 and 1/8 times 2/10? Not quite. We want to find the answer to this. So what's the word that we're going to use to find the answer in multiplying? All right, so coming down to our multiplying, which one is an answer to a multiplying problem? It's the word product. So we're going to use the word product in this case. The difference of 7/9 and the product of 1/8 and 2/10. Again, I'm more worried about your key words than turning this into words 1/8 and turning this one into 2/10. You want to go above and beyond and turn that into 2/10 and into actual words. Awesome. I really like that and appreciate that you take the extra time to do so. Let's see if we can do another one. Right. Here I have adding, but I know that I need to find the answer to adding. Here's our parentheses. So our adding is going to have the word sum. I see it down here again. And multiplying, I don't need to find the answer to multiplying here. So I could use the word times. So let's rewrite it. 1 and 75 hundredths plus. Oh, wait a minute. We don't use plus. I'm so glad that I caught myself. I'm really being reflective here. I need to find the sum. The sum. Okay? And I know some of you are going to want to do that. It's just that you naturally see the first number and you want to write it. That's not always the case. You have to stop and think of, well, we need to find an answer. So the sum of 1 and 75 hundredths and the 3/5 times 4/3. And I'm okay with that one for this lesson. And let's wrap up this last one here. I know, thank you for bearing with me and your patience, right? But I like this one because it has a different operation. It's division. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. So we're not looking for the answer. So we're not really going to use this one here. But there is one more that we tend to use more than others. Okay? Quotient is the main one. But we could use divided by. So this one's going to be divided by. So up at the top, let's do a different color. 2 divided by, and now I need to find an answer to a multiplying problem. I can't just say times, because I'm not doing 2 divided by 1/2 times. I need to find the answer. What word talks about answers of multiplying? Product. If you were thinking that, kudos to you. So 2 divided by the product of, remember of goes along with product, of 1/2 and 4/3. fifths. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have wrote these equivalent expressions in word form, or 90% in word form. Looking at our previous work in the Teach piece part 1, right, we talked about using our work to making equivalent numeric expressions in numbers. And we also spent a lot of time looking at solving them, which we call expressions, or evaluating them. Your exit ticket, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be 3 problems, and they're going to tend to be a little bit easier in the evaluation part. So let me show you what they are really quick. They're on the last page of our problem set, all the way down to number 7. This is your exit ticket. I want you to solve all 3 of them. Right? You're thinking, wow, 3 of them. You can certainly handle it to get some extra practice in. Okay? They're not as difficult as the ones that we solved earlier in our Teach piece part 1. If you have any questions, please make sure that you reach out to me or a fellow genius. You can do this. I have a lot of faith in you. You will rock it. Right? And good luck, and I'll see you next time.